Hello, good morning, and good afternoon to everybody watching this live about Dreamdata's reveal launch. Hi, Steffen.
Hi, Laura.
I hope that we're live because we didn't see the notification just yet on LinkedIn. But
It's live now.
perfect. Then I'll just switch this off. All right. So since there have been so many people commenting over to us that I see you all over the place and reveal seems to be everywhere. How did you guys do this? We decided, why don't we just make a live out of this?
Yeah,
We chat about
why
this
not?
and do it. So now you're seeing again marketing and sales collaboration in this. We're going to talk a lot about that today as well.
Yeah, and we've made a little list of all the things we want to walk through. But if you're listening and are curious about certain parts of what happened, just let us know. I think, without saying too much, we got a lot of compliments saying that, wow, you guys are all over the place, and how did you do that, and stuff like that. And that's pretty much the process we want to try to walk you through. So hopefully you can replicate it to your own business as well.
Exactly. Any questions, welcome. We're gonna start from the beginning. How did it all start? And continued, how did marketing do it? What did sales do? And so on. So any questions, welcome. But still, tell us that you're here. So it's like we saw the notification that it's live, but somebody, whoever is watching us, just give us a note that, okay, I can see you.
Give a life signs.
You're good. Exactly. Okay, so we're gonna start with the very beginning of, like, before launch, you have to have something to launch. So Steffen, can you walk us through quickly, like, how long time before the launch we knew that there is going to be a product, and how did the product team prepare?
I actually think this product was very much driven by the revenue team at Dreamdata, because we have been using both in sales and marketing, been using the Dreamdata platform to try to find out what are people looking at before a demo call, or what's the last activity that the account have done, and all sorts of different kinds of intent. We've been using G2 to look at if accounts are on specific categories, we want to talk to them. We also got this new collaboration with LinkedIn, where we got unique access to the ad engagement data from accounts as well. And I think all these things coming together at the same point was what made the product team think that, hey, we can actually look at this again with fresh eyes and perhaps actually build a product that helps you understand all sorts of intent being shown in different places, and then aggregate the accounts to see like who looks hot, who's heating up, who looks like somebody we should be speaking to.
Yeah. Remember the parts of, like, Dreamdata Drippets where we talk about, oh, if the account is watching our pricing, we know that this is a hot lead and we should be sales needs to be talking with them. And then if you combine it with what you see on LinkedIn intent and G2 intent, it's like, okay, this is something we definitely should not lose, and an account we should definitely be talking with.
Yeah, we ended up building our own Google Data Studio reports based out of the Dreamdata data, just to see, for example, how many times this month has this account been on the pricing page. And the data was there all the time, but it just needs to be wrapped in a user-friendly and accessible way.
Really cool. So first it was an idea, then the product team started to build something that customers probably are going to use. So that means that the word of the upcoming product was already in sales and marketing minds. So it was not something new to start market upon.
I think we already knew that it's a valuable thing in this product.
Yeah. Cool. So how did you decide when to do a launch of the product itself?
Yeah, so when we built and launched new products, I think the product team works with I think they have 4 stages. There's kind of an alpha, a beta, and then a release. Release means that now we just give it to everybody and we see what happens, and everybody can just talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the largest scale of that is then after releases, let's actually select this as a launch. And launch means that we we do a joint effort in the whole company to try to make a big blast out of it, so we don't just spill it all over the place and it just kind of not look like something. So for our launch for us is that when we actually select a specific date and we commit to it and we organize all our actions around it, and both you and I like to post on LinkedIn, so it can be hard to hold back with showing, look at this great feature. But once we've, as a company, decided that this is something we're going to launch, then we also respect that, okay, we have to wait until this time to try to create a bit of a bigger bang at this point. So it's kind of, normally products go out through this kind of alpha, beta, and then release. And then the extraordinarily valuable stuff, we upgrade to a new category we call launch. And from there on, there's a lot of planning and work to do.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember all of those meetings when there is the information shared with everybody. Oh, we're going to do this and it's in beta right now. And all of you have access to it in the demo account. Don't talk about this on social. Keep your hands off, because it is tough, especially because you're so excited and you can see that your prospects and clients watching this on demos get excited. It's like, okay, I want to share this with the world. But that's also an interesting part, because before the actual launch, we were allowed to speak about it. So how do you like put that box of people in there in front of the product before?
Yeah, actually, I forgot that we actually were showing this on sales calls and customer success calls a month or two before. But I think it's good that it's hard to hold back the horses a little bit from shouting about it, but it's very healthy to start showing it to people and to practice the pitch of what should we, when I show this, what is the demo use case I want to go with, or the customers can help you spot this is probably built a little bit wrong, or you can configure it in a different way. And out of the sort of early users as well, we also got some, for the marketing's content sake, we also got some quotes and some images of that we could put on the launch material as well.
Yeah, yeah. So you knew how your customers and prospects frame the problem and talk about it before you actually launched it. That's useful. Okay, so now you have decided it's a launch. And then what do you do to get this out?
I think the step one is really to, okay, set a date.
Yeah.
Because then the whole company know, okay, we need to wait for it. And those who are responsible for like driving the launch forward also needs to know that this is your deadline for when you need to have produced all the content that you need to put out. And producing product launch content shouldn't be done in a silo. You should there's a lot of people to align, so you can't just sit and write a blog post about it. You need to validate with the product team, do they agree that this is what is the messaging we want to put out? How do we position this? How does this actually differentiate from other products? And that takes some work, and like we are quite fast, so I think we did it in around 3 weeks or so. But if we had to do it in 1 week, we wouldn't actually had enough time to get around to the different stakeholders and check with the sales team, show what we got. Do you agree that it's good or bad or something like that? And it also takes a little bit of time just to think through kind of how is this differentiating towards other products. And if something like Reveal, there's been this category of IP to business resolution for years. Albacross, Leadfeeder, Clearbit, all those companies. The thing that makes this one different is that it's more like an aggregation hub, so you can bring your own IP to company resolution. You can bring your own G2, you can bring your own LinkedIn ads. So instead of being the source, we are kind of the aggregator of all the sources. And that had to shine through as well, that we don't want to take the market from the IP to company databases, because that's their market. We just want to help bring that data to life. But those kind of, I don't know if you want to positioning or differentiation thoughts you need to carry out in order for people to perceive what the product is as well.
Yeah. So we've got the collateral planned. Then you, of course, thought it through how you're going to position it. What else comes into that planning?
I think this kind of, it's also like one of the things that I talk with particularly Jeremy sometimes about is that if marketing is not going to be excited about it or make it sound grand, then no one is going to make it feel exciting.
No.
So it's kind of, you have to sort of also force yourself sometimes to say, this is actually a big thing. This is actually a unique product, and remind ourselves that we need to do something. We need to like act like the world to understand that this is great. So like we planned a product hunt campaign.
Yeah.
This is the first time we missed a top 5 on product hunt of the day. But so that was one of the things we wanted to do to put it out there on product hunt to reach a broad audience with the product. We planned a rather big influencer push, which we can go into in a minute.
Yeah.
Then we did a newsletter. We did 3 or 4 social posts in a day. We had the product documentation work. We had produced a video. We had produced a blog post and a landing page on its own as well. So there's this. One thing is you can either ask, what is it that we want to do on this day, or what is the content we need to produce? And those 2 things, you have to do both of them anyway. So whether the one thing comes before the other, that's a little bit, I don't know.
Was it fully organic, or did you plan any paid campaigns on that one as well?
We haven't. So now we used some of the collateral we made, including, for example, the video we use in retargeting now, but it's been completely unpaid. Cool. Right? We haven't. No, we haven't.
I haven't.
We typically but it's because sometimes the people that do us a favor, we ship them some candy or some wine or some Lego or stuff like that. So, but we don't pay people to have an opinion about us, but we say thank you if they do help us out.
Yeah, and it goes both ways. So we will touch upon like how to make this big on LinkedIn as well, without having to get a bank or a big bag of money to do it. Yeah. So okay, we spoke about the content that has been planned and how the release is going to be. I really like the part about the excitement, because if you're not excited by yourself, who else might be excited about your product? And if your thing is like, one of those things that we also do, then that's how it's going to be perceived on the market as well.
Yeah.
It goes a little bit back about how you position most of the stuff on LinkedIn as well. It's like energy sells. And if you're excited, if Jeremy, who's on the videos, is like doing all this with his hands and having so much fun creating the ads and the videos for the launch, it sells because it is big, it is different. And then let's plan how to position this. I love that.
But you have to like pull your neck sometimes, because we've been staring at this. We've known this product is coming for 2 or 3 months or something like that. But so to keep that momentum is important, that like the product team talks exciting about it, the sales team. So you kind of have to. I think in Steve Jobs' biography book, they call it reality distortion or something like that. You have to kind of get into that mindset of this is actually something big, so that once you release, as you say, kind of that energy kind of also floats through it.
Yeah, so you can do the dance on the stage when you release it, even though you knew that you're going to release it half a year before.
Yeah.
It's like, this is exciting for everybody. Now you know this, my secret. Cool. Okay, so we have prepared the content as well. And should we move on to the part of how did we make it big on LinkedIn, or is there anything else to talk about?
I think we touched upon it a little bit, but I think it's this kind of aligning of the teams in the company, because when a new product comes out, it's not just pressing click on a LinkedIn post. the customer success team will be in the situation where all their customers will be able to see a new report that is different from the others.
Yeah.
They need to be able to explain what it is. They need to have documentation content that describes what is this report.
Yeah.
The product team has put a lot of work into building the product and done a lot of research. So that research should also come through in all the creatives you put out. So you don't just waste the work that they've done.
Yeah.
The sales team needs to be able to pitch it, to have all sorts of sales collateral, show it to customers, know how it works. And lastly, for us in marketing, we had to prepare a video and some screenshots, and Hugo made some really nice illustrations to it as well. But all of these things you need to project manage it, and I think you're missing out on a lot of potential if you actually don't go through this exercise of involving every team in the launch. And you will also leave people unhappy if you just launch. Imagine the product team just put it out, poof, and then say good luck to the CS team. Then the customers will feel that, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you haven't told us about anything or something like that.
No, exactly. And you could even look at it as like both a timeline, but a funnel of things that are happening forward going.
Yeah.
It's like the timeline when there is an idea to build something. Further going, then we're adding the product team who's starting to build something internally for ourselves. And then when they think it is cool, then they would go into building the actual tool. Then it's in beta. Then now we're exposing customer success. We're exposing the clients. We're exposing sales to talk about this on calls. It's like there is so much knowledge gathered into this for that timeline to go through and for that big bang to be huge. Both the knowledge, but also the time spent across is huge. Like you feel that it is just one day big bang. It's not even 1 week big bang. It's like a quarter or half a year big bang, which is awesome.
I think, that's probably something that I don't have an answer to yet, but I'm contemplating is kind of how much massaging of the message do you need to do afterwards then? Because we did do that kind of big bang, and for a week or at least a few days, everybody was talking about this product.
Yeah.
But what do you do the week 2 or week 3 after? Do you want to keep massaging the same messaging, or do you want to go back to the old messaging, or what do you do? I mean, if there's anybody listening and have done similar stuff, please do share your opinion as well.
Yeah, like how to keep the momentum of the product as well, because you did the big launch and there have been other products that were launched aside.
Yeah, so what we did was the week after we sent, can't remember, is it like 5? We sent a newsletter with 5 or 6 different kind of use cases for this. So if I want to go look whether my closed loss deals are active, how do I find that? Or how do I see how many of the accounts are in the CRM? Or as we talked about earlier, how do I see the new accounts that are on the pricing page? So we try to help kind of people think about how can we act on this new report as well.
Right. Yeah. If anybody listening has any experience of launches and also how to extend the launch as long as it's possible, that would be really nice. And Drew, we see you. Yes, nice to see you again. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to this as well. Yeah. Should we have a chat about LinkedIn, how we did this, or is something else?
No, I think that's probably good, because that's some of the things we the two of us worked a lot on together. So you can probably say LinkedIn was the prime outlet, the prime media, and is every day for us for attention. But you don't just get a lot of attention without putting in the work before. And I think we can say what we do, and we can do that in a second. But I think the reason why we could pull something like this off is I think about our posting at least sometimes twice a day, or at least daily, or sometimes just weekly.
Yeah.
As us, we're trying to share a lot of knowledge and put a lot of good energy out there on LinkedIn, whether it's like technical, fun stuff or inspirational stuff. But all the people who follow you build a relationship to you, and you build up some goodwill with these people. And if you never extract the goodwill, you probably don't see any business, or you see less business results from all the goodwill you build up. So once in a while, you can go ask all the people that you have done a lot of things for by posting to give a little bit back.
Yeah.
And that's probably a segue to kind of how we mobilized people to help us out.
Definitely. And I agree with that. It's kind of, it doesn't have to be that you did something for a person to ask for a favor, but you have been genuine on the platform, you have been friendly, probably you exchanged some of the chats together to be able to ask for a favor to help you out while you're doing a launch. So it's kind of giving back from the community over to you, but I will be able to cover the part as like, it's not just them giving back, they're getting something out of it as well. And it's not just the hoodie.
What are they then
we
getting?
can talk about that as well. Like, I think it's psychological, but we can talk about it too. Okay, so how did you plan the LinkedIn launch?
I think we started with me telling you, Laura, we need to get a lot of people to post about this. And then you start thinking, but I can't just tell people to do something. So what do we do? I think one thing that shows how much credit you built up out there was just doing that one. Did you do one post where you said, who wants to help us do a release?
Yeah.
And then you had like 20, 40 people saying, I want to help. Yeah. And what you did then was actually to reach out to them one-on-one with a little bit of instructions and expectation settings.
Yeah, which you have set up already with the team. So I didn't have to do too much work. It's like when Steffen, you reach out to me and say, oh, let's get 20 people from each person in sales. Who can they ask for some favors? Okay, for me, this is work and it's hard. Like, how can I do less work and try to figure something out of there? Of course, there are a couple of names I could definitely go out and ask for, but then I did a post asking people to help me. But it was not just to help me, but it's also the way you frame this. So we're releasing something really cool that will help to do this and that. In my case, it was like to bring sales and marketing teams even closer together. So it's a topic that I constantly talk about. And would you be there to help us out to launch it? So people who say yes, they're actually being brought into that secret that we have and they will have together with us. And everybody wants to know something before the whole mass of people knows this. So I think besides that, they would maybe be very happy if they have received something from us as a gift, but that knowledge that, okay, I'm in a circle of something really cool being released is also playing a role, because like, oh, so this is a community of people and I will be one of those who are doing this. This is, yes, let me do this.
One of the things you said was actually, we did do a little bit of force on the revenue team here at Dreamdata as well to, I think we created a sheet where each did us say 10 or 20. 10. Every person in the revenue team had to ask 10 people if they wanted to do us a favor. And it's because like numbers matters here in terms of the social posts. So we did write to every person in the revenue team had to like write down a person at what company and whether they have had actually written to them and what their reply was. And that was just kind of a vessel to make sure we did pull in a lot of favors. And then I think a lot of companies can, I can just mention a few groups that we asked as well. So we have some investors. So I wrote to every single investor in Dreamdata saying the week before, we're going to launch on this day. We would like to have your help. And then obviously everybody said yes. We also have a lot of agency partners here, and Sam wrote to most of them saying, we're going to release this. Do you want to help us? And I think you did as well, scroll through all my LinkedIn inbox and wrote to people. So thank you if you're listening to this, that this is coming up. I wrote to them where the messaging would be meaningful, and I got a lot of favors out of there. And then we can probably move into a little bit more like the content line of it as well,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we like one thing is asking people, will you post for us? Some people might say yes, but it's very hard to actually get it done.
Yeah.
And what we then did was we prepared a folder that included like, here's a suggestion for a post. Here's if you want to post an image. Here's if you want to post a video. Here's if you want to post screenshots. So anybody who wanted to help out would have an easy time just clicking the link, open the folder and select whatever collateral they wanted to use and then post.
Yep. And that's so much easier. I mean, out of all the people who said yes, probably only 80 or 70% will post, but they will be aware that this is happening, and they will also be exaggerating the message by at least commenting or liking the stuff that others are doing as well. And that's help too. So like by talking about this, you don't have to expect everybody to be in and to post for you, but there will be a community of people who are running this marathon together with you.
And then I think just very tactical, but on the day of the launch as well, we sent them a second message saying, it's now. Please help. And for some of the people I wrote to in my inbox, I took this my specific post and say, hey, this is the post I was referring to. Just click here and then help extend the reach. And they liked or they commented and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So most of it's not magic. It's a lot of small details of work that you have to do to just keep progressing things.
Exactly. And we do really appreciate the community that is here, because it is a bubble of people that are in the target group for us to work together with. And if we get some help and we give out help to the people, we are actually building out a broader community of people who actually cares. And probably they're not going to buy the product here and now, but at a point when the referral time comes in, then they would know the quality product that does attribution.
Yeah,
for sure. And when the launch was done, so done, it's never done. That's what you were talking about, more or less. How do we further down? But after the launch date, what else did you guys do?
What else did we do?
I did more posts about exactly the same product, like at Inbound. By the way, one more thing for internally. So I was at Inbound at that time and met Drew, by the way, if you're still online. So what I had to do was I had to schedule some posts about the launch, because when it's a big day and you're busy as well, so you have to prepare the messages and hope that LinkedIn does not post it too early so you don't mess that up. But I scheduled some of the things, and I think a lot of people in the sales team did that as well, so you don't forget it, and that it's out there when you're asked to actually do it as well. And then I did videos while I was there. And you?
That's true. Yeah, I think I've also been doing consecutive posts about Reveal as well.
Drew just went through product launches in 6 months.
You'll bring it up. If you read it out loud, then people can join.
Yeah, we'd love to do that. So Drew has done a lot of product launches while he was at Lasso, and we will reach out. It would be fun to have a chat of how to do it. Or we could jump on a live, Drew. Next time, it's you and I.
Yeah.
We've got an agreement.
Good idea. Good idea.
We're going to do a live, Drew, so people can hear about that. How do you do launches, and how did you experience your launches as well, okay?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other like important details we can share.
Yeah. Yes. What did we give back to the people who said yes to say launch and be happy to do it?
I think it's important, and that goes for most things in life. If people help you out, you have to say thank you. And hopefully, if I haven't gotten around to everybody in my inbox, then thank you. And I think a lot of people we also send small gifts to, and if you haven't received one from us, then
shout out.
Just give a shout out, then we'll get Patricia to reach out.
Yeah. So yeah, we send merch. So I think people got hoodies like this one a lot and stuff like that too. Yeah. I think that's more or less it.
Yes.
So are you planning any launches soon again?
We actually just upgraded a feature, LinkedIn related, to a launch, but then I can't say more.
Okay.
But that will probably come within the next 4 weeks from now, or something like that.
Oh,
And then the good thing about launches like this, once it becomes a little bit of a craft, or like it's a muscle you train. So the process we went through here, we'll of course try to repeat as much of it as we can, the components that worked, etc. And hopefully you get better and better at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So stay tuned for like approximately 4 weeks from now, perhaps when we're at the Ascend conference in
we can
New
do
York.
bike videos in New York about the launch. That's gonna be fun. Yes. Drew, we're gonna send over the invitation for you. We're gonna chat about the day as well, to do the similar one about Lasso's launches as well.
Wunderbar.
See you, everybody.
Okay, see you guys.